Let's also go live on Instagram. There we go, Instagram is going live. So a little bit of 5-element flow I thought would be nice for a Monday morning to ease us into the week. Obviously with that focus on breath coordinated with movement. And I'm going to give you one word for each of the elements. So I'm going to keep it quite I'm not going to speak a lot basically. So it just gives you that opportunity just to settle into the flow. If you haven't done this before, if you're new to the 5-element flow, just follow along with the movements. Don't feel you have to copy exactly me, or if you're watching on Instagram, if you're watching on Zoom, that you have to follow people on Zoom either. So the first element we're going to work on is metal. And with the metal element, I want us to think about release, think about energy. But actually, before we do that, let's do a little bit of a warm-up. So just standing with your feet shoulder width apart. Just very easy warm-up, getting the spine mobilized, knocking on the door of life. Breath soft and light in and out through the nose. Connected to the ground through the feet and connected to the sky through the crown of the head. Slowing it down into water waves. And then taking a moment, just standing tall. Let's open the shoulders, palms facing forwards. Just bring awareness to the lower abs, just bringing the breath or the response to the breath without increasing the breath, but just bringing the focus down to that lower dantian, softening there. So remember, as we're breathing in, that diaphragm is moving down, it's creating a pressure in the abdomen, and you're getting that, what we call that intra-abdominal pressure. So there's an amount of engagement here, but there's also softness. So see if you can feel how that area responds to the breath. And then bending the knees, so we're going into that little 1/8 of a squat, breathing in, breathing out. Spinal cord breathing. So we're getting that connection between the sacrum and the cranium all the way through the spine. And here we're breathing with the movement. So gentle breath in, gentle breath out. Let's do 2 more of these. And then take a moment. Again, relaxing into the shoulders, palms facing forwards. And then we'll have a little bit of dog wags the tail, shifting side to side, pelvis parallel to the ground, and then just freeing up that spine. So we've worked the spine, or mobilized the spine, or energized the spine in 3 dimensions. We've rotated, we've extended and flexed it, and then we're doing a little bit of side to side movement, which is lateral flexion. Here you're just breathing naturally. And slow it down and have a good shake. So shaking out here with the breath. Let's do a little bit of cleansing and clearing. So when you're cleansing and clearing, we're taking a fuller breath, almost like a sharp breath in through the nose. Let's do a little top up and let go. Good old shake. Again, this is getting the energy flowing, getting the blood flowing, getting the body warmed up, lymphatic drainage, all loads of good stuff. Cleansing and clearing. Let's do one more full breath. And then slow it down, gradually slow it down. And we can do standing again just for a moment, palms facing forwards. And then just feel the tingling sensations. Generally, you can feel it in the fingers, maybe the legs. Just give yourself that time for the breath to settle. So we'll move into our 5-element flow now. And as I said, if you've not done this before, just follow the best you can. Just get into a flow, get into a rhythm and flow, and the breath. Get that sense of the breath guiding the movement. The first element is metal, and the word I'm going to give you for metal is release. It's about energy, it's about bringing energy into the body, so release, think of release. We start with our feet shoulder width apart, palms facing upwards, and then breathing in, and breathing out. And again with the breath, just keep it very light and soft. If you need to go a little bit quicker, that's absolutely fine. But the key is to keep it smooth and effortless. Remember, all of the movements flow, so there's no start or stop. It's a continuous movement, just changes direction. The name of the movement, Buddha holds up the earth. So the earth is heavy but precious. So you can just imagine lifting that heavy precious object above your head. And then when you're ready, just coming to a standing posture, just rounding the arms slightly but keeping the elbows soft, just palms facing forward, facing towards each other, towards the center as well. Just standing for a moment. Relaxing into the face. And then we'll move into the next element, which is water. And as I say, all of the movements are flow, but particularly the water element, really focusing on the word flow. So really smooth out the edges of this movement. Fountain. So back of the hands, not touching, but just coming up the center line. And then out to the side like a fountain. And with the breath, gentle breath in and then breath out. It's very intuitive the way the movement and breath is coordinated. So we don't want to feel as if we're getting out of breath or anything like that. So if you need to go a little bit quicker, that's fine, but keep it smooth. The whole point is that they are flow movements. There's no start, no stop. Also, it's not just an arm movement. So just let the whole body sense the movement. So you might shift the weight back a little bit, might be a little bit of hinge in the hips, but I don't want you to feel as if you're doing an exercise or repeating an exercise. Just go with the flow. When you are ready, just coming back to that standing posture again. If you feel you need to take a slightly fuller breath, absolutely fine. It's not about restricting anything. Next element is the wood element. Tree sways in the winds. So I think the word I'll give you for this is grow. Think of growing, and it's that connection between the ground and the sky. So palms facing forwards. Sorry, not facing forwards, facing upwards. And we're going to rotate to one side, breathing in. And then there's a little bit of pause at the breath as we breathe out. Again, I don't want you to force the breath, or I don't want you to feel that it is at all created to breathe in a particular way. But see if you can let that breath be natural, but you're just lengthening it out a little bit. There's that little pause at the bottom, a little bit of suspension at the top. I don't want you to feel it's too controlled. And of course, the words I'm giving you work from a physical point of view, growing and standing a little bit taller, but also from a mental point of view. And then when you're ready, just coming back to the standing position. And then the next element, which is quite appropriate because the sun is literally just coming out and shining right through the window, fire. So I want you to think of radiate. And again, that can be radiating from a physical point of view, also radiating from that emotional and mental point of view. So palm facing down. We're moving from the hips and the waist. This one can always look a little bit robotic. I still want you to really keep that flow going. So you're moving from the hips and the waist. We're getting almost like that figure of 8 through the hips and the waist. And with the breath, you can either think, I'll breathe in one direction, or breathe out and then breathe out in the other direction, or just keep the breath really soft and light in and out through the nose. Don't even think about how you need to breathe, but think about, have in mind, fire, energy, radiate. Inner smile always works lovely with this one. Not that it doesn't work with all of them as well, but making sure you're relaxing the face. If you want to speed it up a little bit, speed it up, slow it down. Cloudy hands. So the top hand is the cloud, or move hand like clouds, the bottom hand is the shadow. So that palm faces the chest, faces the heart center. And then when you're ready, slowing it down. And just giving yourself a moment again in that standing posture. And the final element being the earth element, so ground. Think of being grounded, stable, strong. So grounding, ground, pebble in the pond. Breathing out, as that pebble, as the water ripples out from you, dropping the pebble in the pond. Gentle breath in, bringing all that energy back to the center. And again, whole body movement. So just shift the weight. And the movement with the lower body is, in all of these movements, is just counterbalancing your center of gravity. So it's not overreaching or doing a big movement. It's just gently balancing or counterbalancing. Pebble in the pond, grounding. As you're breathing in, feeling how this area responds to the breath, a true deep breath. Remember, deep doesn't have to be big. And then when you are ready, just interlocking your thumbs, resting the palms over that lower dantian, lower abs, bringing your feet together. And just closing your eyes and just finishing with the standing posture of bamboo in the wind. Breath is just natural, very soft and light. Still deep, so still have an awareness of how this area really subtly responds to the breath, deep in the body. And then just allowing your body just to very gently rock, sway. You might get a little spiral out of it as well. Bamboo in the wind. And then a full breath in through the nose. Open your eyes at the top of that breath. Step out, let the breath go. Give yourself a brush down. We haven't done that for a while actually, so it's quite nice just to go through a full Qigong flow, those 5 elements. So I hope you enjoyed that. Breathe right, I can just see a comment on Instagram. Loving practice this different form of the 5 elements. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thank you, thanks for the feedback. And it's nice to see we're getting quite a few people on Instagram as well now. And thanks to the Zoomers as well. It's always nice to follow you on the Zoom. And we will be back on Wednesday where we will focus a little bit more on strength. So I'm going to keep this up. I'm going to keep this, the flow on the Mondays and the breath, and then go a little bit stronger on the Wednesdays with the movement. Have a good day. Thanks as always for joining, and I'll see you Wednesday. Bye.